fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Piccolo from the Dragon Ball Evolve line from Bandai. So I've seen these in Walmarts and Targets from time to time, and I haven't really started collecting them. I was a huge fan of the SHODO line that they did, which I still think ended way too soon. There were so many characters they could have done with that. But then I saw they're doing Piccolo in this line, and I love Piccolo. He's one of my favorite characters. And I was hoping that this would maybe be close enough that it might scale decently with that line. Piccolo's like a little taller than some of the others, so I'll get those figures out later so we can check it out. But just, I just kind of wanted to try this line out anyway because it looks pretty cool, and I think the figure looks pretty great. And like I said, I've seen them around. I've just kind of stayed away from them because I thought they were a little too tall for the kind of stuff that I like to collect. But I love Piccolo, so even if this doesn't work out, I just have a cool Piccolo figure, so that's what I'm checking out today. It is from Superhero, the movie that came out not too long ago. So this is kind of like what he looks at in the beginning of that movie. And we just have a picture product shot of Piccolo here on the back. Toei Animation, all the usual good stuff. So I'm excited for this. I hope it works out. I'm going to go ahead, get him out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Piccolo out of the packaging, and I think he looks pretty great. I kind of wish he came with, his cape and turban, but I understand. I mean, I got this on Amazon for $10.99, and I feel like it's a pretty excellent figure for that price. I wish he had some extra hands, something like that. But again, they're trying to keep the cost down, so I understand all of that. Now, to get to the main point, for the reason I decided to pick this up, no, they don't really scale well at all. This is the SHODO line. These are apparently 3 3/4 inch, whereas I thought they were more of 4-inch figures. So yeah, this really doesn't work at all, but at least I have a pretty cool Piccolo figure. I wanted to just throw in a couple other figures just again for a sense of scale. So here is a 4-inch Spin Master figure, and then here is a 5-inch Playmates Ninja Turtle figure. So honestly, these might be even a little taller. These might be like 5.5. So they're a little bigger than I expected. Again, it could just be because maybe he's in scale with the rest. So maybe like Vegeta in this line is a little bit shorter because Piccolo is kind of a taller character. But I would say he's maybe 5 1/4, 5.5 inches, something like that, just for scale. So unfortunately, he's not going to work well with my SHODO figures. But again, like I said, it's still a pretty cool figure. So let's go ahead and check it out. So right off the bat, I think the paint applications are pretty good. I think the head sculpt looks nice. He has his classic furrowed brow there. The antennae work pretty well. The ears are nicely done. Head's on a ball joint. You can look down pretty far. I wish he could look up a little bit more. Unfortunately, that's about as high as you can get the head to go. But it can turn from side to side, no problem. You have a nice ball joint here in the shoulder, but there's also kind of a butterfly joint. So you can kind of see the piece here, how that goes in and out. And then you have the butterfly joint, so you can go pretty far out to the side, rotate all the way around, no problem there. You have a bicep swivel. You have one elbow joint there. You do have a joint in the wrist as well as a rotation. So you can do punches. You can kind of do like the powering up pose that I have him in here like this, which is pretty great. And I think the paint applications on all the little, I'll call them arm details. I'm not really sure. The Namekian. Now I do feel like he should have them on both sides. And maybe I'm misremembering that. But again, it might just be a budget measure. So at least it looks good from the front. But I feel like he does have those on both sides. So I feel like they should be here and here as well. But you have a nice abdomen rocker here. You also have a swivel at the waist. Now the hips are kind of interesting the way they work. So they have kind of a bend here in the actual hip. But then they also have another joint here kind of at the thigh where it can go out to the side. But then you also have a thigh rotation as well. So it's kind of interesting the way that they're done. But it works pretty well and you get a nice range of motion there. Then you have, I would say, over 90 degrees in the knee. And then you have nice ankles down here so you can go front to back. And then you can also go side to side. Now they kind of had to cut out part of the shoe to make that work. So that looks a little weird. It's a little jarring from the side, but looking at it straight on, not a problem. And you can get a really nice range of motion there. So it's a pretty cool little figure. I really like it a lot. Like I said, for $10.99, I feel like the price is super reasonable for what you get. And if you're into collecting 5-inch figures, I think this is definitely a fun line to check out. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit smaller. I wish it was more in 4-inch scale. But I still think it's a pretty great looking figure. Like I said, for the price, I feel like you can't beat it. It feels pretty sturdy, pretty solid. I don't feel like anything's going to break. The joints are all pretty good. Yeah, overall, I'm just pretty happy with it. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, I don't know. I like it a lot. Like I said, my only complaint is I wish it was a little smaller. I know 5 inches is kind of a scale that most things don't get released in anymore. Usually it's either 4 or 6 or 3 3/4 inch / 4 and 6. But yeah, there's definitely something to be said. I mean, $10 for a 5-inch figure with really nice paint applications and articulation, I think it's pretty cool. So, like I said, if this scale is for you, I think this is a nice line of figures, good price, and I recommend checking it out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.